Hi, I am Ajit. Welcome back to our SQL Learning Series. In this video, we will cover views in MySQL, what they are, when and why to use them. Plus, we will introduce materialized view, a related but distinct concept that can greatly improve the performance for complex queries. We will also clarify the scope of each view type. So, what is a view? A view is a virtual table representing the result of a select statement. It does not store data physically but runs the query each time we access it. Views make complex queries reusable and simplify data access. Okay? So why to use views? Views simplifies complex SQL into manageable pieces. It provides security by exposing only specific columns or the rows that we want to expose. Okay. It will also improve maintainability by centralizing the logic. Views also enables reuse of complex queries like virtual table. So how to create a view? On this screen you can see the syntax of view. So create view, then we need to provide the name to the view as, then the select statement. In select you can use the name from which we want to retrieve the data and store into the view. But again, views won't view won't store the data physically. Okay. We will see one example in workbench. Okay. So create view. I'm going to name it as California customer. California customer. Okay. California customers as in the select customer underscore ID comma customer underscore name comma the city from which customer is, then the state. Okay. Then from the table name, that is customers, where state is equals to CA, that is shortcut for California. In this way we can create the view to store the records of customers from California. Okay. So when we want to query the view, we can query as select star from and the name of view, that is California underscore customers. So in this way we can query the view. Then we will see the scope of views. So views are session independent. Okay. Once they created, they exist as long as the database exists. Views are database specific objects. So we can access them only in the respective database. Views reflect the current underlying data because they execute the query live at access time. Okay, whenever we are accessing the view, they execute the query. The updates through views are possible if the view meets restrictions such as simple updatable views. Okay. What are materialized views? A materialized view stores the result of a query physically, like a table. This means queries accessing materialized views are much faster because data is pre-computed and stored. However, data may become stale unless we refresh the materialized view periodically. So we need to refresh the materialized view periodically to avoid the data staleness. But when it comes to MySQL database, it won't support the materialized view natively, but we can emulate them by creating table that store the query result and by refreshing the data manually or with the help of triggers. We will see one example of materialized views, that is emulated materialized view in MySQL Workbench. So first we need to create a table. So create table. Okay, we will name it as sales underscore sales underscore summary underscore materialized views as select the product ID, comma, use the aggregate function sum, in which we are going to sum the quantities of that particular product, and I will name it as total underscore quantity, comma, sum the amount as total underscore amount from sales table, and I am using the group by product underscore ID. Okay. So in this way we can create the materialized view in MySQL, or we can, rather than creating, we are emulating that concept of materialized view, which is not natively present in MySQL or MySQL database. Okay. So to so to refresh this view daily, what we need to do is, first we need to truncate the table sales underscore summary underscore mv. First we need to truncate, and then we need to insert, okay, we need to insert the data that we are going to fetch from select into this table. Okay, insert into sales underscore summary underscore mv, select. Okay, I will copy paste rather than writing the same query. So in this way we can refresh the emulated materialized view in MySQL Workbench. The scope for materialized views. Okay, the materialized views are physical tables, so they persist until explicitly dropped. Okay. To remove them, we need to explicitly drop. Data is static in materialized views until refreshed. So materialized views are suitable for heavy queries needing fast reads. They can be indexed for further performance improvements. Okay. They are storing the data physically, so they are acting as a table, and we can use the indexing on table to improve the performance. Okay. So that concept we will use with materialized views. We can use with materialized views. The scope is same as tables. Okay. It is database specific. So to modify or the drop views, we need to use specific syntax. That is, to modify, on the screen you can see we can write create or replace view. Then we need to provide the view name as, and then we can use the select query as we want to modify. The way we want to modify, we can use the select query. Then when it comes to dropping the view, we have drop view and give the name of view. But in MySQL Workbench, we have emulated the materialized view. Whenever we want to drop it, we need to drop it as tables. So drop table and the name of the table. Okay. So the key difference between views and materialized views are: number one, storage. Views do not store data, they store query. But when it comes to materialized views, they store the data physically. That's why when it comes to performance, that is second point, views run query each time we access the views. So they are slow. When it comes to performance, they are not that much fast. But when it comes to materialized views, as they are pre-computing and storing data physically, they are fast when it comes to reads. But because of that, our third point, that is data freshness, views always run the underlying query, so they shows the real-time data present in our table or the database. But when it comes to materialized views, they are pre-computing and storing the data physically, so we will be getting the old data or the past data or the stale data, one and the same. So to get the fresh or the real-time data, we need to either manually or periodically or with the help of trigger, we need to refresh the materialized views to get up-to-date data. So because of that, when it comes to views, we don't need, or we need minimal maintenance. But when it comes to materialized views, we need to refresh management and all. We need to refresh periodically. So in that, because of that, we need some maintenance. So when it comes to use case, when to use views. So when we want up-to-date data with data abstraction, in data abstraction means we don't want to expose the complete table to the user, but some specific rows and columns we want to expose. In that case, we can use the views. Okay. But when it comes to materialized views, when we have complex queries, okay, that we want to abstract and make it simple for the end user, and also to improve the performance by pre-computing the query and storing data physically, we can use the materialized views. So try to use this in your project to get used to with views and materialized views. Okay. Do like, share and turn on notification for new videos. If you have any questions or the request, please mention in comment section. If you want the PPT used in this video, then it will be available in our Telegram channel. So link has been, you can see the link on screen. It will also be present in description. So see you in the next video. Happy learning.